Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. So, got an interesting video for you today. This video was actually recommended or asked for by a subscriber or a viewer. One of you guys asked me to actually make this video. They wanted an updated video about dating in the West versus dating in Asia. So I kind of talked about this a bit before, but I didn't share a lot of details about it. So I'm gonna talk about that today. And it's not gonna be the video you think it's gonna be. I'm sorry, but it's just not gonna be that video, I don't think. But also, as a bonus, I also want to share with you the reason why I've been on my own or single for the past 3 years, why I'm not dating Chinese girls. And I'll share that with you as well. So stay tuned to the end if you want to know the answer to that question. So anyway, let's just kick it off first by saying, for those of y'all who don't know, I've been in China for the past 15 years. So I've been here for a long time. And in my previous video, I mentioned that since the age of 13, I haven't been more than 2 weeks without having a girlfriend or a serious relationship or something, right? I've been with somebody for pretty much my entire life up until the past few years, the past 3 years. So in terms of my dating experiences in America, so I'm going to talk more about America versus China, not the West versus Asia, because most of my experience is in America and China. So I'm not going to really talk about other places. And I'm not going to tell you guys anything about my friends or what I've heard or what people expect me to say. I'm just going to tell you my own personal experience that I've had in my life. So, as mentioned, ever since I was 13, I've always had a girlfriend. And in my experience, I haven't had much bad luck. Now, disclaimer, I am divorced from an American lady or girl, but that was a long time ago, and that's one bad experience I've had. And I'll tell you a little bit about that, but not a lot, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So in terms of dating in America, in my own experience, when I was young, when I say young, 13 to older, whatever, you're looking to have fun. You're not looking for true love or something like that. You're looking for fun. And I dated girls that, at that time, were also the same thing. They were young girls and looking for fun. That's how it is in the West. People are more open-minded, and it's more casual type relationships or something like that. I'm gonna have a seat here in the grass. So it's more casual type relationships and dating and things like that. That's normal in America. And so the girls that I chose to date like that for fun mostly were also girls who were in the same situation. They were also, looking to have fun and that kind of thing. So it was kind of mutual, things worked out just fine. Didn't have any bad experiences. And I'll keep in mind, this was maybe 30 years ago, something like that. Because, right now, I'm 43, and we're talking about from when I was dating when I was 13 to 18, something like that. So we're talking 30 years ago. So things were very, very different back then. So, I didn't have to do anything special. I didn't have to have a bunch of money or do some crazy stuff in order to, to meet girls for fun, have dates and all this and that. And I've never had trouble finding girlfriends. Now, in terms of more longer, more serious type relationships, I'm trying to get away. There's some people coming over here. I just want to go get a little quieter place. But in terms of dating for more serious relationships, again, in my experience in America, I never had any serious problems out of, dating with American women or Western women, except for the one. And now, to be clear, it wasn't my fault in terms of why we got divorced, but I also do take responsibility for, my choice. Because I made a bad decision in choosing someone, so that's also, partly my fault. I'm not going to put 100% of the blame on the girl or woman, whatever you want to call her. But so anyway, in terms of that, I think everybody knows when you want to date somebody or meet somebody, it really depends on what you're looking for and your choice of person and where you actually find this person at. Because back then, we didn't even have cell phones, so we didn't have apps, didn't have none of that stuff. This stuff didn't even exist. So every person you met, every person I met, I always had met in person. It wasn't through some kind of app or something like that. It was somebody that I actually met like outside somewhere, or a friend introduced me, something like that. It was never through any type of, social media apps or dating apps, because this wasn't around back then. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the relationship that I had that failed, I broke the rule, and I ended up choosing someone that I met at a place I probably shouldn't have chose somebody from. And so that's partly my fault. And then just some other stupid things too as well, in terms of my choice and how I chose the person, and being kind of blind and stupid at that time. But for the most part, my experience wasn't bad. I mean, it sounds like I'm rambling on about a bunch of stuff. But anyway, in terms of my experience here in China, to be honest with you, it's been very similar to my experience in America. So how do I mean by that? It's the same like anywhere else. China is not as conservative as people think it is. There are lots of girls here who are just looking to have fun. So if you want to have fun, you can meet those kind of girls. And there's also girls here who are looking for more serious relationships. So you can meet those kind of girls also. And again, it really depends on where you go to meet these type of girls. So, if you go out to any bar in China, you're going to meet mostly girls who are looking to have fun, right? That's what they're there for. They're there to have fun with their girlfriends, and they might be there to find some kind of guy to meet to have fun with, but I don't think they're intending on that turning out to be a serious relationship. So, I mean, I shouldn't have to say this, but if you're looking for a serious relationship, you shouldn't be looking for it in a bar. That's pretty standard. I think everybody knows that by now, but people still do it. But yeah, those girls are out there if that's what you want. And also, in my experience, if you use a dating app or something in China, most of the girls that have came across on those apps are also the same thing, just like you would meet in a bar. They're looking for fun. They're just doing that kind of thing. It's kind of more discreet. They can talk to foreign people without being judged by someone or something like that, and they can meet you privately, have fun with you, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for fun, I think dating apps in China or going to a bar or something like that in China is fine, perfectly fine if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for a serious relationship, every serious relationship I've ever had in China was actually someone that I met in person, not through an app. I just happened to bump into them by accident at the gym or at the supermarket or something like this, right? I've bumped into girls at just random places out in public, and slowly over time developed a relationship with them, and things worked out really well. So in my experience, both in America and China, I haven't had bad experiences really on either side of the aisle. Now, that being said, I do have friends, and I've heard horror stories about, people having really bad experiences with Chinese women. But, I can't talk about those experiences because, for one, I don't know all the details of those people's stories. And also, I don't know where these people even find these girls. Did they find them on an app? Do they find them in the bar? Where do they find these girls, and how do they meet them, and how do they choose? I can't comment on that because it's not my own experience. But in my own experience, it's been nothing but great on both sides. So I can't really complain that much. Now, let's get to the real thing that I want to talk to y'all about, is why I haven't been in a relationship for the past 3 years, in terms of I've dated girls and stuff, but not in a serious relationship, and why I'm not even considering having a serious relationship with a Chinese girl. Now, I'm not going to say I would never have a serious relationship with a Chinese girl again. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to say never, right? But it's not my goal or not my intention. And I'll tell you why. So first of all, as I mentioned before, I enjoy spending some time alone, getting to know myself better and that kind of thing. And now I really know exactly what I'm looking for in terms of what type of woman I want. Now, I'm not saying Chinese women can't be that, because they can be. But there's some other considerations that I have in mind. And is someone who's like, basically, I could probably retire right now if I wanted to, and I'm on the verge of retiring. And as I mentioned before, you can't really retire in China. And so I'm looking to travel, actually. I want to travel a lot more and spend a lot of time just traveling all over the world to different places. Now, one of the reasons why I wouldn't or don't really want to consider a Chinese girl for a serious relationship is because it is really difficult for them to be able to easily travel and go all the places that I want to go. And if I want to be in a serious relationship with somebody, like, I want that person to be with me, and not just like sometimes I don't have to travel around all these places by myself. And I don't want to be stuck or tied to just having to stay in China because my girlfriend is here, something like that, and she can't go nowhere. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm not like looking for a serious relationship with a Chinese girl. But I'm not saying I would count it out or rule it out, but I'm not really, searching for that. So, I mean, me personally, I would rather, if I'm going to be in a serious relationship, I'd rather be in a serious relationship with someone who has a stronger passport. Not because I'm looking for another passport, although that would be nice, but like if somebody, for example, Korea, Japan, they have much stronger passports even than my own. Their passports are better than American passports. So they wouldn't have any trouble going to any place that I want to go. Like if I want to just pick up tomorrow and go somewhere in Europe, or pick up tomorrow and go anywhere in Asia, they can go the same places without having to worry about anything. They don't have to process visas and all this other stuff like Chinese people do. They can literally just go into any country, the same as I can. I can go to most countries without a visa. I just show up with my passport and they let me in. And so some other people around the world also have this, we call it a luxury, I guess. For example, Korea and Japan, like I said, passports are better than U.S. passports. Malaysia has a really good passport. So I would consider or rather have someone from one of those countries, not because of anything about Japanese culture or Korean culture or Malaysian culture, something like that. It's just more about the freedom that they get to join me no matter where I go in the world. In terms of Chinese girls, they don't really have those freedoms, like because their passport just isn't that great. But in terms of Chinese girls, in terms of like their culture or how they are in terms of dating and things like that, I haven't had any bad experiences, and I don't think they are a bad woman or bad choice for a partner. It's just, it's a little bit difficult for me to have the lifestyle that I want if my partner has a passport that is not very good. So it's not just China. If you think about other places such as Thailand or Philippines or Indonesia, Cambodia, like some of those places, their passports are really, really not great either. And they would also struggle to go with me to places I want to go. So those are some of the reasons why I don't consider like seriously dating people from those countries. And there's nothing against their country. Actually, I think the countries are great and the people are great. But just some of those things, I just think, it's really a burden and really just doesn't fit in with my life and what I want to do in my life. So the reason why I wanted to share that with you, because I think a lot of people overlook this idea or don't think about this idea. And I think if you're someone, this channel is about living abroad. If you're somebody who wants to live abroad and wants to travel and all this and that, then you really need to consider your partner. Can your partner do all the things you can do? Or is, you're going to have to make sacrifices and be tied to one place because your partner is. And so would I make the sacrifice? I think I would. I mean, not saying that Chinese people can't go anywhere. They can go places. It's just more difficult. They just can't up and go. Like if I wanted to pick up tomorrow and leave, I can. And a lot of Chinese people don't have that luxury. So that's the reason why I haven't really been actively searching for a Chinese partner. So anyway, I know this ain't the video y'all were hoping for, where I was going to bash, Western women or bash Chinese women. But my experience hasn't been bad, so I can't say bad things about them. And like I said, it's been probably 20 years since I've dated an American woman, so yeah, I might be out of touch with what's going on today. Maybe today's different, I don't know. Anyway, see y'all next time. Take care. I'm going home. Yeah, I like my neighborhood. It's kind of quiet. It's not much going on. I mean, some people living here, but not much happening on the road. That's my house right there.